was denied bank loan. Ow now, brown cow. Well, good morning, everyone. Okay, you might notice lighting is a little bit different today. Gone from them posh like box lights things for a soft. I was like, it's getting early. It's getting early. I can't be having too bright in the eyes. All right, got some questions from Nicole. Feel free to populate the chat window down there. Look, people are already into it. Usually I have some of the messages from Nicole, but it looks like we could crack into it. Yeah? That's all right. That wasn't for me. My missus is talking to the dog. Amy Barrett. Hello, James. Why am I feeling hungrier than usual this week? Could be many things. Could be where you're at in your diet. Could be that calories were lower than typical last week. Maybe you ate the same, but maybe you burnt more. Could have something to do with, menstrual cycle, where you are in that. So the individualized differences in how women respond to their menstrual cycle is quite substantial. But last week you might have been in the follicular phase. This week you might be in your luteal phase. Could be many, many factors. Could be the satiation society of the foods you've had. You might have had less vegetables. There's so many different things. So I don't know, to be honest. So someone in the comments here, Revolver Ocelot. Am I right in thinking that's a character from Metal Gear Solid? Is it? I know the comment is spam. Do you take it in the wrong? Revolver Ocelot? I know this name. It is Metal Gear Solid. Wow. Although you're trying to troll me, I loved Metal Gear Solid. What was her name? The one you had to save in it? Meryl. Was that her name? And because I was like a 10-year-old boy playing that game, Metal Gear Solid. I know, sorry for any ladies that are watching. This is just a bit of video game nostalgia. She was quite fit, so there you were at 11. They were like barely pixelated characters on PlayStation. You were getting anyway. Zenis, a big fan of your content and books. What's your opinion on smartwatches for fitness tracking? So during lockdown, when everyone became a runner, including myself, I did use a Garmin. I did love it. The only thing is with like Garmin watches, they're pretty invasive, like big chunky watches. So like if running is your life, I think they're a great thing to have, a great companion certainly to have. Then at the moment I do use a Whoop. The only reason I use a Whoop is that I can wear it during jiu-jitsu, so I can put it on like a bicep sleeve, or I can even put it down my let's say my boxers. That's what I'm looking for. So I do like that. But it depends what you're doing. But we do know that when we diet and when we restrict calories, we move a lot less. So it is a good idea to have some way of tracking how much we're moving, and fitness watches can be a great addition to that. Some people like it. Some people find it motivating. Some people don't like it. So it's one of those things where, I would say if you fancy a device to have more data on yourself, absolutely do it. Samantha, how do you record your progress for pull-ups? I'll be doing assisted. Then do it with a band. So, all right. For me, I've been training 10 years and at the moment, I can't do more than maybe 5 bodyweight chin-ups. And I know some people would be like, oh, that's pathetic. It's just not really a part of my training regime. Like I train a lot of jiu-jitsu, I don't shut up about it. A chin-up or a pull-up is me taking my arm from this position to this position. And there's just not that much carryover for that in my sport. So I use a band when I do them assisted, and I actually track my reps in my program as to how many I can do with the band. So as long as that, variable of using the band remains the same and you remain consistent with using the band for the chin up, that's fine. There's no need to put like an embarrassed emoji here. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. So like you're looking for progress. So for any of you that are looking to do, how many pull-ups you can do with a band, that's fine. Just make sure the program says, because you might go from 444 to 555 to 888. And even though you're still using a band to help you with the chin up, that's part of the journey. Do you know what? I'm fascinated with that person who's made their name the character out of Metal Gear Solid. That's crazy. Like, fair play. Moonlighting as a character from a video game. It must be 20 years ago, not 10. I'm well old. Matthew, what do you think about kids taking creatine under 10? I'll tell you what, mate. I didn't know what creatine was till I was like 22. How do kids under 10 know what it is? Creatine is naturally occurring in the body. It's also found in foods like pork, meat, pork, beef. But then you wouldn't just want to get it from meat. To get your 5 grams of creatine, you'd have to have like 2.5 kilograms of beef. From the physiological standpoint, I don't think it would be harmful for a kid to have creatine in development. But from a psychological point, like what is a 10-year-old doing supplementing in the gym? Like, let's say it's your kid sees you having it, and you say, "Yeah, I'm having it because I want to be strong." In that case, if you want to put a bit in your kid's drink or whatever and make them feel like, oh, that's fine. But if your kid's already eyeing up the supplements at 10 years old, I'll be like, whoa, calm down. Get them moving, get them in the gym, get them doing stuff. But yeah. Gavin, hello, mate. On the JSA, can we send off form videos and mention low back pain and get recommendations how to fix this? Low back pain, ache is a major issue for me as a new weightlifter. Yeah, Gavin, also feel free to send that directly to me. And one thing, right, I can't sit here as a physio, nor can any of the coaches, and tell you exactly why you have lower back pain. If you send me your deadlift form, there may be some clues as to why it's hurting, which I would love to help with that firsthand, because I would love to do a review video of that and put it on YouTube if you're happy for me to. But your lower back shouldn't hurt. Saying that, I'm doing a YouTube video today. My lower back could hurt tomorrow, but you'll see why. But yeah, it shouldn't really be hurting. But yeah, you can send off form videos to us. And like I say, if you send it to me, I'd be more than happy to see it, because then I can do a video for it on YouTube. And I'm just going to put my email address here for anyone that's not sure. And my inbox is always open. Okay. Real RGB. Your advice is brilliant. What's your thoughts on hybrid training, running and resistance program? Instead of calling it hybrid, I'll call it concurrent. You're doing two things at the same time. So as I've said this a few times before, if you're running and muscle growth are kind of two different goals. They're both great goals, but they go in different directions. So you just need to be mindful that concurrently, if you're going to train two different goals, they might take longer. If you just did weights, you'd get stronger and more muscle. If you just did running, you'd get fitter. But I think it is great to do both. I don't think you're hindering it. You're just slowing down how long it would take. Danny, hey James, what's your suggestion for best chest development? Been blessed with the best chest, not been blessed with the best chest genetics. Well, that's a bit of a tongue twister. Everything else is sound though. Mate, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, brother. Your pigeon chest. But you know what? For years, I've kind of blamed my genetics for having a pretty shit chest. But here's the truth. For the first 5 years I was lifting, I actually didn't know how to contract my chest. I thought as long as I did a bench press, as long as I pushed away, that my chest would develop. I didn't realize that, I'm quite a broad person with big shoulders. My shoulders just always took the load. So it was only probably after 25 that I realized, I'm actually gonna have to work these little chesticles to get them to where I want. One thing that I'm doing, because I'm actually in a training period now where I want to develop my chest, is I've dropped barbell bench press and I'm doing just dumbbell bench press. And I find that doing dumbbell bench press, I can concentrate more on elbows out, elbows in, elbows out, elbows in. Now, another thing, right? And this was a bit of a reality check for me. And I'll be honest with you, because you're my homies. I always said like, I've got a shit chest, whatever. My friends who have got better chests than me, I said to them, how much weight are you lifting on dumbbell bench press for like 10 reps? And all of them are stronger than me. So although I blame genetics, I think the fact is I just haven't dedicated as much time and effort and volume and intensity to that body part as my friends had. So like success leaves clues, right? If we were your friends that have got really good developed chesticles, they might not be making you aware of how hard they're working for them. Because Duran and I, for instance, we don't have very big chests, but we don't really train chest that much. So it's kind of like a chicken and egg scenario. But yeah, cable work, 100%. Elbows out, elbows in. Me, I don't like doing dumbbell pec flies. I just can't get a contraction. When you are doing like cable work, there are some different variations you could do. Sometimes I even like to sit on a bench and supinate, turn my hands out and do like a supinated chest press. But yeah, whatever you can get like a pump and progressing is going to be best. Okay. Sorry, I was a bit long-winded, I know, but that's what lives are about. What's your favorite part of your training and why? Bansi, if I'm honest, it's open mat jiu-jitsu, where we just turn up, the timer just ticks, and you just get to roll with everyone. Like, I just love sparring. Been training 7 years now. I just really, really enjoy it. and I like getting a sweat on. Love getting a sweat on. Yeah, and just love going at it. My weight training is more of a supplement at this stage of my life. Lukey, what actually is in your latest challenge? Can we get an overview of exercises? Well, this is the thing, right? You don't pay for the program, you pay for the membership, and in the membership, you get a program. So let's say you're like, right, I need to get a good balance of weight training. At this point, right, even if you tell us coaches you want to build muscle, we haven't got a program for you yet. How many days can you train a week? 4. And then suddenly our brains go, cool, maybe an upper, lower, upper, lower. Then you say, oh, I can only train 3. We're like, oh, probably full body 3 days a week. So the exercises involved, we still don't know, okay, where do you train? Because I'll be completely honest with you, right? Even years ago, we had maybe 450 programs written for at-home TRX training, at-home dumbbell training, fat loss, beginner phase 1, new to exercise, all of these different phases, right? There's going to be one that's going to fit you to begin with. So we need to know how many days a week you train, what's your goal, what's your training experience, all of these things. Then from there, you'll probably be allocated a program suitable for your goals. And even then, that's not set in stone. You might come back and go, leg press, I'm really busy in my gym. I don't like queuing for the leg press. Cool. And then we change that program. So we're probably now at the point where we've got thousands of different programs. So I can't tell you what exercises are going to be in it because I don't know. So then once you've got your program allocated to you, you take that away. As of next week, we shut enrollment. No new people can join. From there, you can upload a picture and measurement each week. So every week in the app, you got to upload it, actually become accountable to it. It's amazing how much your habits change when you actually have to take that photo, because you're looking in the fridge, you're like, oh, I'm going to have a bit of chocolate. And then you're like, oh, I've got to upload my photo tomorrow. I want to look good for it. So 6 weeks doing that, who can kind of kickstart and motivate themselves and use the coaches and community and all those things. That's really what it is. So I know I am waffling a bit here. I hope for many of you, you've just got me on the side in the kitchen and just letting me waffle. But that's why I wanted to make this standalone channel so we could, and we don't get, sidetracked. Rachel, hey, looking forward to starting my very first challenge next week. Welcome. Any idea why I feel hungrier when I start tracking calories and end up binging more? I haven't been too restricted with calories. It's an interesting one. What I would say here is if you don't want to track, number one, if you don't want to track, don't track. There are plenty of ways, like let's say I'm your financial advisor and you've been spending too much. There are certain things we could do in your life to get you to spend less, right? No taking your purse out until 1 p.m. You know what I mean? Like no more going to Waitrose. You got to go to Aldi, like let's not drink for a while. So all of these things, there are so many ways we can reduce calories without tracking. But when you start tracking and you end up binging more, for me, it probably seems like psychologically or physiologically, you're over restricting. So first thing that comes into my head is maybe you're being too strict. What I would say is, okay, what do you think would be a fair compromise to reduce energy intake without tracking? Do it for a couple of weeks and let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, we can try other things. But tracking is a tool, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not like the First Amendment or like a way that we have to, do things 100%. It's not the Genesis in the Bible. Okay, Gavin. You've also convinced me to take up BJJ. I've gone to 6 to 7 sessions so far. Best tips for white belts. Relax. Okay. It's very strange being in, it's very strange being in an environment where you're fighting people, but you, with whatever strength or fitness or whatever you have, that does not increase because you're really tense. If people are going to pass your guard and mount you and do whatever, that's fine. Let's say we're rolling, Gavin, right? And I slip to mount. In mount, I'm in the most advantageous position to take advantage to remove any of your athleticism. No one's really athletic when they're mounted. So relax. At some point, whoever's on top of you is going to transition to another submission. Wait till they're doing that to push them off, and tap. If you feel uncomfortable, just tap. No, at white belt, you've got a free pass to tap to whatever you want. When you get to blue belt, you don't, and you get wrist locked. So enjoy it while you can. Zenis. Tried Garmin, wasn't a fan. Used an Apple Watch because I'm an Apple whore, but I appreciate your thoughts. Yeah, James Shaw, my business partner, he uses an Apple Watch. Johnny Boy, James, your video about ADHD diagnosis was amazing. Really echoed a lot of my experience. What were the nootropics that you had used? So I've used several. Theanine has helped me. I do like playing on caffeine a lot, and I've been playing around with some others. Rodilio rosea And watch this space surrounding nootropics. That's all I'm saying. Is it harder to lose weight whilst breastfeeding in a deficit? I've been in a 500 calorie deficit for the last week and the scale is only moving ounces. Is that saying Oz? I wouldn't say it's harder to lose calories breastfeeding because your calorie expenditure is actually higher than usual. But Katie, what I would say is if you're breastfeeding, you're obviously postpartum in a period where, sleep is hindered, baby crying, your life is upside down. And although I appreciate there's a lot of, urgency to try and recoup back some levels of fitness and vitality and all of that, in this period, let's just focus on being active, health seeking behaviors, getting on the move. Maybe listen to the podcast I did with Jen Dugard, which was only a few weeks ago, who's like Australia's leading pre and postnatal specialist. But yeah, you're talking about a period of your life where, the importance of a baby's welfare is at its highest. And you're looking at weight movement in a week, which is like a blink of an eye for, weight loss in general. Even if I had like a 21-year-old, no responsibilities, lives at home with their progress, and they were complaining that their weight hadn't moved in a week, I'd be like, whoa, calm down. It's just a week. You didn't get fat in a week. So, let's not do it. Even for the baby you just had, congratulations, by the way, that took 9 months to go from, day one to popping out. And it's still got 18 years until it's going to be paying rent at home. So, in this time span that we've got, it's a long time. So I wouldn't worry so much about things not happening in a week. But I know it's very easy for me to say because I'm a guy. I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, just look after the baby. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't beat yourself up. If you're in a deficit or you're trying to get back on track, maybe look to become more active. But weight fluctuations at this period in your life are going to be pretty all over the place, right? You should be saying to yourself, was I active? Did I get out and about? Am I, feeling better? Could I go return to some form of training? If you can do that, yeah, but you can't beat yourself up if you're not losing weight. You've just had a baby. Dave, I have tennis elbow with some tendonitis. How often shall I train? Mate, welcome to the club. Can you hear that? My elbow kills me. It's been like 2 years. Saw a physio. Saw loads of physios. Gave me exercises. Did them for a bit. Didn't go away. Do you know what? If any of you are physios, fair play, but I hate physios. Right? I fucking hate them because they never help me. So at the moment, I'm now injecting every night BPC 157. I'm trying a peptide, trying to get my elbow back. How often should I train? But this is the way I see it. This is me putting my physio hat on for the second. There's what our body can handle, and there's how much we're giving it. Okay. So if we give our body more than it can handle, chances are injury is on the horizon. So what most people tell you to do is to rest. So then what your body can do, what you're giving it. So then you give it a lot less and then the symptoms go away. Then what happens? You return to training and then suddenly you're in that split again. So I think the onus for the majority of us isn't to just stop training. It's instead to increase the ability of what our body can do. And I think that for many of us that have got golfer's elbow, we've just been hammering it too hard and exceeding what our body can recover from. But how often should I train? I don't know. If you find a solution, mate, let me know. Jonathan Butt, is it better to do 3 strength training days with a short warm-up and cool-down run, and then 2 cardio days with a long run cycle? Or is it better to do 5 strength days and then cardio each day? Do you know what? Going to be controversial here. I would say, what would you rather do? For me, the days that I do more cardio, so like I started running with the dog a bit recently, I don't want to lift weights on days that I run. I want to just focus on the run. So I'd say probably do 3 strength training days because then they're days that you're like going to lift tin. And then the 2 days are like when you're going to try and make your heart explode. So I would split them. But if you want to step foot in the gym 5 days a week because it means you can set off from home earlier and miss the traffic before work, then do that. It depends the kind of role the gym plays in your life. If you're someone, I used to work in an office and I fucking hated everyone I worked with. So going to the gym at lunchtime was great because I didn't have to socialize with a load of plebs. If that was the case, then yeah, I'd still be like, yeah, do that. But it's really, really up to you. Just looking at my camera and make sure it's not running out of memory. Faceless Fettle. I'm new to your channel and loving it as I also in the middle of getting fit, considering signing up for a 6-week course. I don't have a gym membership, no gym equipment at home, but I still get a program. You would. But you know what we would say? I already see the coaches saying, would you be willing to get a suspension trainer? You get a cheap one for like 20 quid on Amazon. because that really gives us some diversity through the exercise like that we can give. Because at home, we can give you like a split squat, we could give you like a reverse lunge, could give you some like core work and some push-ups. I want some row exercises. I want some better core exercises. Then if you get a suspension train, and this is for any of you that train at home, you can put it into your door, you can hang it on a tree outside or whatever. Straight away, you got tucks, pikes for your core, you got rows, you got high pulls, you got TRX bicep and tricep extensions. We literally probably double or triple the amount of exercises you get in a program. So face this battle. What I say is please do join. If any of you are on the fence for this challenge, because we close enrollment in a few days, join. You've got the 7-day free trial, then you've got a 14-day money back guarantee from when you buy. So you're protected. If you're going to be on the fence, fall off to the side of joining, then when you talk to the coaches, you could say, I've got no equipment, but I'm willing to get a suspension trainer, Amazon Prime it, couple of days, set it up, bang, ready to go. So that would be my best advice. Harper's Kitchen, how often should I be going to the gym to lose weight? As often as you can. Let's say that, shall we? Because, I think it's pretty important that you go as often as you can. But losing weight is generally going to be, indicative of what you do with your calories. Not so much just how often you go to the gym. You go to the gym every day and not lose weight. Sometimes you go to the gym once a week and lose weight. Sarah Chris, loving the academy. Thank you. Looking forward to the challenge. Any advice how to get best results in only 6 weeks? Just try really hard. I know it sounds facetious. Just go hard. Like, let's say you for the majority of you, right? How about no alcohol? Unless you've got like a holiday or a wedding or something, no alcohol. Cool. If we said no alcohol for 12 weeks, you might be like, whoa. No alcohol for 6 weeks. Oh, okay, cool. You could even say like, okay, cool. I'm going to go to bed on time for 6 weeks every day. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. 6 weeks is short enough that you can make pretty almost absurd changes in your life. You know what I mean? So that's what I'd recommend. Pick something crazy and go with it. I'm Steve. I'm in a sharp stabbing pain in the lower right hand abdominal region, something you come across when doing seated hamstring curls. No, I would get that checked out. Hopefully not a hernia or anything, but yeah, go see a specialist if you can. Alan Wickstead, curious you're looking into the likes of levels, vary, and limbo for weight loss, continuing blood glucose monitoring and AI. I don't know what those things are, but so blood glucose monitoring, I would only really ever get on board with one of those for someone who's type 1 diabetic, because that's really when you'd want to be, curious about the amount of glucose in the blood, because I know some people seem to think glucose in the blood is a bad thing, but it really depends on the circumstances. Athletes and very active people always want glucose in the blood. They always want energy availability, but yeah, your weight loss is going to be determined by the amount of net energy in and out. Some people could have a high fat diet where, let's say you do carnivore, you could lose tremendous amounts of weight and there's going to be almost little to no blood glucose surges. So, I don't know to answer your question. VK, does the Jameson Academy give out meal plans? So more so, we're going to give you a general idea of how many calories you should have in protein. And you know what? I had a bit of a falling out with some guy the other day on this, because he was like, I joined your academy and you wouldn't give me any macronutrients, and so I left because your coach is blah, blah, blah. I said, look, we've got 3 macronutrients. We've got carbs, fats, protein, but the majority of us, calories are going to make a massive difference. Protein is going to make a massive difference, but what you do with your carbs and fat just isn't. And many of the studies that we've looked at over the last few years goes to show that when calories and protein are equated, doesn't matter what you do with carbs and fats. So it's way better for me to give you guys personal preference than anything else. So there are meal plans on there, there are recipes on there, but really the way it works is we give you a framework of what to do with your own diet, because I could give you a diet, but you already have a diet, VK, right? You already have a diet. It's probably not serving you very well, but instead of me giving you my diet, let's use your diet as a framework and make some changes, because you've all bought a meal plan before and it's never worked for you because you're using someone else's fucking way of doing things. First of all, there's a massive cohort of you that don't particularly like breakfast. So you buy a meal plan, you're eating first thing in the morning, you feel sick. Then there's a massive cohort of you that don't really eat that many fruits and vegetables. So then you start eating loads of fruits and vegetables, then you feel sick. Like, it's one of those things that so many of you need the support and guidance to change your existing diet, because changing your diet that you already have is going to do way more for you than using my diet for a few weeks. Richie, how many exercises per session is best for bicep size? So when it comes to bicep size, Richie, I would, and again, I'm not like the fucking bicep king, but if I was you, I'd look to get your push and pulls like nailed, like big compound lifts, your bench, your rows, your chin ups, all of those things, because your biceps going to get hit quite a lot in that. Then isolation, maybe just give yourself like 3, 4, maybe even 5 working sets at the end of a workout. So once you've done your program, before you leave the gym, no one's going to tell you off for smashing the biceps. Now, I would go for like 3, 4 sets of trying to make them burst. No, I don't think a muscle has ever burst before in training. That's what I want you to do. I want you to alter the angle of where the arm is to the body and just literally try and kill your biceps, even if you're there doing partial reps with a sex face. Like, yeah. VK, is a bro split a good program? For the majority of you, no. For 95% of you, no. Like, the majority of people here are pretty new to training. Me giving Sharon from Northumbria a shoulders day is the biggest fucking waste of time ever. She doesn't need an hour for shoulders. You know, the majority of people need to go in and train multiple body parts. One, so they don't get bored, and two, so they can train multiple body parts. You know, the way I've always seen it with my clients is like, go in, let's do a difficult exercise, cool, split squat, 4 sets each, 15 minutes, done. Let's do some push exercises, then let's do some pull exercises, then let's work on an isolation area of the body you want to work on, then go home. Cool, now come back. Oh, we're doing the same exercise as last time. No, you got different parts of the body to hit. And then just where you get to the point where you're like, oh, it's been a week since I've done a split squat, boom, they're back in the program. Okay, I love how you have a video on how you don't like planks. I joined the 6-week challenge and there's planks and I die a little inside. Just because I don't like front squats, I don't like split squats, I don't like front rack reverse lunges, I don't like doing, you know, supinated bent over row, but they're in people's programs, they're in my programs. And you know what? A lot of exercises, one of the main reasons that I would get someone else to write my program is so there are exercises in it that I don't like. But we program planks primarily where if it's a novice plan, because we're not going to be putting your feet in a TRX and getting you to do tucks and pikes if you're pretty new to training. But here you go. You can always message the coach and say, give me something else. 2, you can always message the coach and say, give me something harder. 3, you can always message the coach and go, I don't like these, and they'll change them. Imogen, is there a chance after 3 kids, damage to my upper stomach muscle means I won't ever get my body back? I eat very well, I'm very active, surgical nurse, long walks a week, always feel body conscious. Imogen, listen to the podcast I did with Jen Dugard. She fucking slammed me for even saying the words old body back. She's like, that's the one thing they need to erase from the minds of mums, right? So you're being a surgical nurse, you should be pretty aware that popping 3 kids out is a lot of trauma to the body, let alone if you've had like cesarean, emergency cesarean. The upper stomach muscles, we're looking at pelvic floor dysfunction. We're looking at like so many different issues. There's even, I believe, a part of the anatomy there that allows us to suck our stomachs in that women kind of lose when they have kids, which makes them feel like they've gained more weight. But no, Jen would say to you, you should never ever use this internal language to yourself of your old body, because it's not your old body, it's a pre-baby body. And like I've said this before, and I don't mean to like guilt trip people at all with this, and this is a bit of a shitty thing to say, but I come from a family where my mum and dad couldn't have kids. That's why I was adopted. So, you know, I always do think, and even myself, I think, imagine what it'd be like to not have kids. And I know people, even in the public domain, that are really struggling to have kids. And what I would love sometimes is a bit of tough love, is to take women such as yourselves, and this isn't for punishment, this is just for contrast. Say, right, okay, we got 5, and we could do this probably in my academy. We get 5 women who are feeling kind of a bit down and deflated about the fact that having kids has wrecked their body, and completely right, it should. Like, there are women in professions as female health physios that have to kind of help women contract their pelvic floor and to stop them pissing themselves up doing a jumping jack. Having kids completely wrecks your body. I'm very lucky to be a man, but we take those 5 women who are self-conscious about their body, and then we find 5 women that couldn't have kids. And if we could put those people into a room, my friend Lucy Lord always says that if you could put your problems into a pile and share them with other people, you take your own problems back every time. And I think that there are so many women out there that would give anything to have the body consciousness you have and to have the kids. So I appreciate that it's deflating. I appreciate I've got no personal anecdotes to what this must feel like. I appreciate it can't be easy, but at the same time, it is cause and effect. You brought 3 amazing kids into the world. Chances are you're not going to look, feel, or be the same as you were before. So that's quite long-winded, I know. Andy, how do you not laugh at all the stupid questions adults are asking? That's a bit of a sanctimonious little question there, Andy, isn't it? A little pop. This is my job. And, some of these are simple questions. And yes, some of them I have been answering for years on end, but most people do the same thing. Most people, even a police officer, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you do say will be used to get, what did you do today? I arrested 3 bad people. What did you do the day before? Arrested 2 bad people. Lawyers, what did you do? I tried to stop someone going to jail. Like, we all do the same thing every day. As long as you like it, it's all right. Joe, loving these lives, being able to listen and learn at the time you're dedicated to the members. Thanks, James. Still thinking of a goal for the challenge, thinking about a training goal. Maybe think of something, think about your insecurities. Are you insecure you can't do a chin up? Are you insecure that you don't go to the gym enough? And then work backward from that. Okay, I'm going to speed up the responses a little bit. Wondering, is there a move to get clients to avoid tracking weight in JSA? 1 week challenge done, another one signed up. Just curious why the recs are changing. Not really. Like, I still think it's such a powerful tool. It's just, so when the person before was talking about that, they used the word binging. So, like, I'm not saying this person's got binge eating disorder, but where we see binging, let's think about the trigger here. The trigger was probably tracking the cause and effect. Cause, tracking, result, binging. I think it's just good to give people an armory of different things that they can try. Tracking for me still is, if I need to lose weight for something, tracking is a powerful tool. I suppose for myself, do you know what, Claire? Do you know what it could be? My circumstances have changed in the last year. I'll be honest. I'm in a very happy relationship. Me and my missus have very much got gender roles in the house. Like, I've never lived with a partner before. I've never lived with a girlfriend until I was 34. And she cooks dinner every night. And because of that, even in periods of restriction, I've had to now try and circumnavigate how I'm going to work around this, because I have no idea what's coming. It's hard to plan because even she doesn't know what we're having for dinner till like 5 p.m. So I think because now I'm in a position where I actually just have to take ownership of what I eat in the day for compositional change, maybe I'm relaxing a little bit with as far as getting people to do it. But no, it's still very much, that's why we start with calories, macros. And even if people only track for a few months, I think it gives them a fantastic insight to how much they're eating. Helen, I've started the motions now, ready to smash from next week. Yes, legend. Okay, I'm going to speed these up. Oh God, there's quite a few left. All right. If I don't sweat every workout, is it indicative that I'm not working hard enough? I feel it. I'm personally in my CNS. You can feel it. Trying to feel it. Sweat is just thermoregulation. It's just your body cooling you down. So you might not sweat. It might be cold where you are. I wouldn't worry about it. I track calories for 18 months, took a break, started again. I cannot grasp it. In that case, let's find something that works. As someone that's currently in the UK and has an Australian passport, so I could go live there without restriction, would you say the move to Australia is worth it? Okay, this one is a little bit off topic, but I would say this to you. So I left all my family and friends to live in Australia because my life is better here. Like, I'm happier here. The sky's blue, and this is such a selfish thing, right? But the sky is blue a lot. The weather is nice. I'm next to the beach. And when I came here, I couldn't believe that people were living everyday life in like a holiday town. Even in Europe, let's say you go to Croatia or you go to Greece or whatever, a lot of those holiday towns are only busy for like 3-4 months a year. You can't really live there. Even Brits that went to Spain, in winter, they're a bit like, Ibiza's dead for 6 months a year. But when you're here and you're like, wow, like every day here feels like a holiday. That's like the most important thing for me. And whenever I've left that, I've missed it. So, thinking about even where I live now, I bought a nice house, but it's not that expensive. For here, I've got a 3-bed house on the beach, brand new, for cheaper than what an apartment would cost in flipping London or even outside London. I couldn't even get a masonette in Richmond for what this house cost me here. And as far as like forward thinking, one day I'm going to want to have kids, right? From where I live now, even if you rent this is not expensive to rent. I'm 75 meters from the beach. So when I do have kids and they're fucking, these kids are pissing me off, I can just go over and sit there on the beach, answer some tweets, let the kids run around in the water, whatever it is. So the idea that really my my future kids could live a permanent holiday, that kind of excites me a bit. So for me, I like it. Either way, UK or Australia are getting fucked by the tax man. Absolutely pants pulled down. Cool. It is too far away for my family to come visit. Yeah, that's pretty shit. But as far as my quality of life, everything that's really happened to me, as far as like business, social media, everything all happened when I came to Australia. And I think when I came here, because I didn't come here until I was 28, everything fell into place. And this is a weird way to think about it. I've always been a plant, all right? But in Bracknell, working long hours and living in Berkshire, the plant wasn't in the right place. For some people, it was the perfect place. But maybe I was a certain type of cacti that needed to be taken and put into a hot climate. Because when I'm here, you know, in the summer, I won't put shoes on for like 5 weeks. It's brilliant. And that's why I love it. So yeah, sorry. Long one. I've tennis elbow and I'm a massage therapist. It's just hard. How and when to use chains and lifts? Are they even useful? Is it beneficial to use them? So the reason you would use chains is that you're weakest the lower you sit in a squat, let's say. So chains make it harder as you get stronger through the lift. It might help you break through a plateau, but I think you could just use resistance bands if you really wanted to. It does the same thing. Okay, love these lives, super informative. Look forward to my second challenge. Feeling really strong in the gym since joining. Now starting to get compliments from friends. Let's go, Amber. All right, last few questions. I will get through them all. I know that I need to be in deficit to lose weight. Is it possible that there are other reasons why we can't lose it? Can you gain weight even in a deficit, maybe due to hormonal imbalances? Not really. Like if you had hormonal imbalances, they could stop you from being in a deficit, but you wouldn't be in a deficit and it wouldn't work. So let's take menopause, for instance. Let's say you're menopausal. It's not that you're in a deficit and it's not working. It's that you're burning significantly fewer calories than you would have pre-menopausal. Let's look at PCOS, same thing. Thyroid disorders. If you've got an underactive thyroid, it's not that deficit's not working, it's that you're not in a deficit. So hormonal factors and imbalances can play into the amount of calories you burn in a day. But it's not that the calorie deficit isn't working, it's that you're not in a deficit. Corey, did you say you're going to make another video on RDL? My RDL form could use some work. Please send it across. You got my email address. Wanted to say that your opinion is really fresh and love the content. Thank you. Any good recovery tips after a high intensity strength workout? You know, people say ice baths, people say magnesium, people go all about this. Really, the best recovery is just to rest, chill at home, eat well, sleep well, put a film on. How do you feel your training changed over the years, going from rugby player to PT, now YouTuber? I saw you at RGA Hammersmith. I trained there. See you there, man. Probably do less weight training, but cardiovascularly, I'm probably the fittest I've ever been. When I'm in a spinning class, I always win the downhill race, but still feel like I'm getting nowhere. Maybe don't go to spin class. Let's do some proper training, Andy. Let's do some proper training. Loved your 9 tips for 20s vid. Just turned 20s. Found it really helpful. Thank you. When did you get diagnosed ADHD? About a month ago, 2 months ago. I'm 28 and I live with it, but I still don't know if there's any benefits to getting a diagnosis. For me, it was more so because I kept saying, like, I think I have ADHD, and it's been getting worse for me as I'm getting older. So basically, like, even the littlest things kind of stress me out as far as organization. I'm very disorganized. I forget stuff. And kind of like there are just little weird things that happen, and my girlfriend picks up on them the most, you know, and now she understands it. It makes it a bit better. So like, let's say my missus comes home from work and she's telling me something important and my brain just goes somewhere else. She doesn't take it personally. She's just understanding how my brain works. Like, you know, sometimes we'll just had sex, right? We'll get in the shower and like, you're still in that kind of post-sex thing. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, you never guess what I ordered on Amazon. And she's like, fucking, we were having sex 30 seconds ago. Now you're telling me about shit you ordered on Amazon. She's like, what's wrong with you? Now she knows. Okay. I can't do a plank because my belly is too fat on the floor. Is there an alternative? If you're too fat to do a plank, don't fucking plank. If you are that overweight, restrict the amount of food coming in and get fucking active. Get as many thousand. You'd be way better off walking somewhere, listening to a podcast. You'd be better on the move than laying on your front. Come on. You can do that. Mick, thanks for the Athletic Greens video. My pleasure, mate. Okay, start your 24-hour tracking at dinner. You're welcome. Richmond is proper pricey. It is, but if I was going to live in the UK, let's say I'd need to be close to London to train at RGA, and I need to be near to my parents. I'd be on that southwest line. Even like, it's cheaper for me to live at the beach here in Paradise than it is for me to live in a shithole in the UK. The UK is so expensive as well. Petrol here is like £1 a litre. It's like £1.50 in the UK. So, you know, yeah. Seen your video on creatine, which brand is best? They're all pretty much the same. It's been on my mind a while, so I'm looking at options. Right. It's the Australia debate, right? I can't say indefinitely if people are going to like it because Darren lived here and he hated it. But for me, it's I just love it here. Just love it here. I could be wrong, but now, you know, I think it would be a great place to bring up kids. And I kind of feel like the world is going a bit crazy at the moment, and Australia is just kind of like left alone. You know, no one's going to invade Australia. Okay, let's have a look. 170 kilograms. Don't know where to start. I know where you should start. 169. Now, all right, imagine this. If you're 170 kilograms, we got some work to do. Shaunson, right? Now, some people are, oh, you need to lose 70 kilograms, whatever. You need to lose one. And I guarantee, all right, this is your homework, Shaunson, okay? You are going to email me. And again, I'm going to put my email here, so don't even fucking try not doing this. I don't care if you don't buy the program or whatever. No one else cares if you don't buy the program. You're going to email me a God's fucking honest food log for even just a few days. Every single fucking thing you consume on a daily basis. And if you lie to me, I will know and I will never help you again. But you're going to send me a fucking honest food log. Okay. Now I'm going to give you back the most effortless swaps or changes we can make that to create calorie reduction. I also want to know how many steps you do a day. That's all I want to know. Then I guarantee within 2 weeks, we could lose 1 kilogram easy. And then you get to 169 should be a pile of piss, right? The first thing someone at 170 kilograms needs to do is stop actively gaining weight. We get you to 169, then I guarantee 168 will come after, then 167. And if we can go 1 kilogram by 1 kilogram, we can make substantial changes. And mate, if you get to 150, which is 20 wins away, you will feel so much fucking better that you will be motivated enough to do this on your own. But you send me that fucking food log or I will fight you. Becky, my relationship ended because he's moving to Australia. You're making me want to jump on a plane. It is far away, right? But everywhere is a day on a plane. Everywhere is a day on a plane. And fair enough, you'd be tired. But I got here and I was here like a few weeks. I was like, I get it. Because you go to Bali, right? Bali's amazing. Couldn't live there. Croatia is amazing. Couldn't live there. Ibiza is beautiful. Couldn't live there. Australia, I was like, oh, I could live there. And at the moment, it's fucking freezing. So people seem to think that Sydney's always hot. It's not. It's like 10 degrees outside, but beautiful. It's been like grey skies for one day in like the last month. Okay, right. Shaunson Mick, you signed up yesterday. Good man. Right, food log. You're going to be my little side hustle project. All right. And if I don't get that food log, I will fight you. Well, would you look at that? Thank you very much. Alfie just brought. No, I'm joking. Thanks, Dave. Guys, managed to get through all the questions. Oh, it's hot. Thank you very much for tuning in. Yeah, we've got the challenge booting off. I'm going to get the link for that. So most of you should be on the app getting the notification for this. So I'll just give you a link if any of you haven't enrolled yet. Enrollment's only open for a few more days. There we go. Got the link here. All right, let's go. There you go. If any of you need the link to that to make sure you're enrolled, I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm going to be back here 2 mornings every week, Tuesday and Thursday, to answer any of your questions that you have. Very appreciative of all of you guys taking part in it. Anything you need, my email is also up there, james@jamesacademy.com. You want any forms checked? You want anything, you fire away. Yeah, looking forward to chatting to you guys again soon. Speak to you in a bit. Bye-bye.